will activate these guys, and they will go after the bad guys, and once they eat, they will make more of the good guys to protect you. Now the main problem here in Southwest Florida and in South Florida basically is a certain nematode called the root knot nematode. Now the root knot nematode causes a problem because what they do is the reason why your tomato only gets so high and has 2 tomatoes on it while the other guy has 12. And the problem is, it's not what you can see, guys, it's what you can't see that causes most of your problems. I mean, we have 4 growing seasons, something's always coming in here, but the problem is you got to get past these root knot nematodes, and that's what these microbes in the earthworm castings do. They protect you from this problem, and you can grow. Because when you pull them up and your tomatoes stunted, if you pull them up and look at the roots, you'll see little nodules on it, and those are the root knot nematodes, which keeps it from growing and producing what it should. All vegetables, all root crops will have that problem. Citrus won't because it's on top of the ground, but this will eliminate it by 60 to 70%, guys. I was surprised, but I've been doing some research on that. Okay, next slide, please. We will already got into that. Next slide, please. Now, here I am making the castings. Now, what we do is, this is a commercial bin. Now, understand, I made this out of garbage on the side of the road. It's a sifter. And what it is 55-gallon drums, a pool pump, and some hardware cloth and some all thread. That's all it is. And it takes the place of 2 men, because when you're starting a business, you're broke most of the time. And so I couldn't afford hiring 2 men, so I made a machine that makes 300 pounds an hour. It takes the place of 2 men. And if I need to get an order out at 1 o'clock in the morning, I don't have to worry about whether the guy's going to show up or not. So we shovel it in one end here, and you notice it's got baffles. It's got plastic baffles in there, and it breaks down the material without breaking down your worms. And it's geared slow enough, 12 revolutions a minute instead of real fast. And the worm castings fall down here. And the worms will stick to this comb, and the worms will drop in this bucket, and the bigger chunks will drop in that bucket. It's just a continual process that goes on and on. And these are several guys' ideas combined into one. So I did a lot of research on that, and I messed up a bunch of times too, believe me. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is the worm tea we were talking about. We're going to talk a little bit about this and what it does. Worm tea is very unique because it will do what nothing else will. When they say rust on the plumerias, you can't treat it, forget about it. Well, you spray it with worm tea, and you spray it, wait 2 or 3 days, spray it again, it'll be ready to go to the show or whatever you need. They come to me when they tell them they're tomato blight. Here's another one. When you get tomato blight and it's wiping out your tomato crop and there's nothing you can do, it will stop it where it is. The worm tea will stop the problem where it is and allow you to at least save 50 to 60% of your crop that way. And another thing it will help you with your mealybugs, your aphids, all 3 varieties that cause you problems. You know, the black ones are resistant to poison, but the green ones aren't, and the brown ones maybe, maybe not. Well, you don't have to play that game anymore. What it does is these guys will actually eat the problem and it will be gone. Now you spray it once, wait 3 or 4 days. The reason why you do that, you want to kill the adults. But the main problem is you wait 3 or 4 days till the babies hatch out, then you kill the babies. Then the problem won't come back. Also works very good on scale, fungus, a lot of the other problems that you have that they say is untreatable. Nothing is untreatable because in nature, something always eats something else. It's just the way the cycle of life goes. And all your scale that you get a lot of the time, if you're by the beach, you will get scale one time or another, black spot, black mold, mealy bugs, all that will help you with this. Okay, next slide, please. Now the worm castings. A little goes a very, very long way. I have a 20-pound bag of worm castings there, and it will do a 1/4 acre of land. That's how much it will do. And what's nice about it is you don't have to worry about using it all in the first 5 minutes or 5 hours or whatever the case may be. If you want to use half the bag, come back 5 years later, as long as you don't put it underwater, the bag will be as good as the day you bought it. So that's what I like about natural products. And you put the plant how you do the worm castings is you put the plant's sticking up out of the ground like this. And this is the soil, right? You take a little circle and make it around it because you want to evenly feed the plant. Number one, to keep it from going into shock, which kills most of your plants anyway. Number two, also to stabilize your feeder roots when you're making your transplant. So you do that, you cover it up, and all it does is take 2 tablespoons. If it's under 4 feet, if it's above 4 feet, 4 tablespoons every 120 days, guys. So that's not bad. You only have to put it down 3 times a year. You don't have to worry about any burning problems because it is made from nature, not in a lab. The chemicals is what causes the burn. Also causes your plant to resist whatever it is. Yes, ma'am?
Do you mix it in or you just lay it on top?
I'll show you.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Okay, sorry.
No problem, no big deal. Those are, ask as many questions as you want as we go along, or save them for the end, whatever you guys want to do. Here's the plant. Make a little circle around there, put your 2 tablespoons in, cover it up, water it in, and wait about a week for it to get into the plant's circulatory system, and you'll start seeing your results. Did that help you?
Yep.
Okay. And that's the tea, you just spray it on, and here's what it is. You don't have to go crazy, like a lot of them will tell you to spray under the leaves and all that. These are living organisms, so what you do is spray the top, and they'll go after their food, wherever it is, which is the problem that you have. So they will crawl to wherever the problem is, heal the leaf as well. Next slide, please. Okay, like I was saying earlier. Sure, yes.
So the worm castings are actually, excuse me,
No
are
problem.
actually dead.
No.
Oh, they will.
They're dormant. There's a big difference. Now, the worm castings are dormant and they don't activate until it rains or the water hits them, and then the microbes that are in there, the microscopic organisms we were talking about, come to life.
So you actually get worms.
You might get a worm or 2 in there. It's possible. We had like we were talking about earlier, we had a guy with a 50-pound bag and he got a 9-inch worm in one of it. So it's all right. They can't hurt you. They just bounce around a lot, and they're great for the soil.
So
Yes, please.
the word castings means what they
Fancy name for poop.
It's just poop.
Yeah, but it doesn't smell bad. It doesn't smell like poop or anything like that. It's not like chicken manure or anything like that. It actually smells like dirt. That's the worst smell. Now the tea, on the other hand, you want to do that downwind. And do not do it indoor on the indoor plants. Bring indoor plants outside, spray it with them, bring it inside. The smell lasts bad for 30 minutes. I'm saying I tell everybody, I'm 98% sure it will solve your problems if you don't mind the smell for a half hour. And that's, and it is the smell. Let's see. Okay, you can use it on your lawns if you want. St. Augustine, Bahia, whatever you got. You can use it on your orchids. Now here's what a lot of people like. The orchid societies like this, especially the tea, because, especially on your cattleyas that hang, because you could spray directly on the roots and it will protect you from thrips, which is a very, very quick. They only have a 2-day lifespan. That's as long as they live, and they can destroy your entire plant in 2 days. So you spray it on there and it takes care of them, puts them in check. Black spot, if you have orchids and you have black spot, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just normal. And you spray it on there, it will heal your black spot as well without burning the orchid. And you know, there are people who spend $500 or $600 a piece on orchids. I mean, and that's not unusual. And so they want to make sure they have kind of an insurance policy when whatever they use on it. So they say, does it burn? Well, I can't use it. It'll burn. And I said, no, it won't burn because it's a natural product. So that's why they like it, because they can actually protect themselves. There's a lady who dips her entire orchid in the worm tea, and to protect her from the thrips especially, she says, and the black spot and things like that. So I just figured I'd throw that in. I thought that was kind of interesting. Also, roses as well. The tea has natural elements in it, and the elements will brighten your blooms, and it will help your blooms stay on by about 30 to 40% better. But the same process. It takes about a week to get in the plant circulatory system, and then you'll start seeing the roses brighten, like when you get your geraniums and they look beautiful when you first get them from the store, and then they get that washed out look. That's because They are taking all the nutrients out of the ground and they don't have anything, because we got 4 elements in the soil and this puts 78 back in, just to give you an idea. And when you spray it, especially if it's still got blooms on, it'll go directly to the bloom and you get your bright colors back that you're looking for. Okay, next slide, please.
That's it.
That's it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess each one's unique. It's like a fingerprint. Bamboo's like a fingerprint. It has different colors, different shapes, sizes, what have you. There's thick-walled bamboo and thin-walled bamboo. What I use right now is called Old Holly Bambusa, which is basically giant Chinese timber bamboo. It's what all the Asians build the houses out of all over the world and stuff. That's what I got. And it'll last about 10 years instead of the 3 or 4 years of the regular wooden planters that you buy. So
So you just put it down, or you hang it up, or?
whatever you want to do. And I forgot to mention, what a lot of the chefs do, especially around here, they can put rosemary, garlic, whatever you got in here, and makes a little herb thing, and they sit it in the corner of the kitchen, and when they want to get, for whatever dish they're doing, basil, whatever, clip it right on. They keep it right in the corner, it only takes up that much space.
And they don't die like the other?
No,
plants
because you
do?
fill it with peat moss, and you water it from the top. And you water it once a month, every 3 weeks. And if you want some jellies that they don't sell at Walmart, I got a few of those too.
Yeah.
So,
So I have a,
ma'am,
so what are
which one? Oh, those are actually plumerias. I don't know what color they are, but they are so easy to grow. You stick them in the sand, and I guarantee you they'll grow. But the main thing is, don't take too good care of them. I tell everybody that.
No.
Don't take care of your, I'm not gonna mention any names.
I know me.
Okay,
But-
I have a suggestion, okay?
All right,
Why don't you just start in the back, work forward and tell us what the prices are on the things and what you do, okay?
that's what you want, that's what I'll do.
I think that would make sense
that
for
what you
all
want?
of us.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be great.
Okay,
They wanna know everything on the table.
okay. 20 pound, we talked about, does a quarter of an acre. It runs $32. And if you get more than one, we'll work something out. The 10 pound, these are the worm castings now that we were talking about. These are all worm castings. This 10 pound is $22. And I have a 5 pound over here for 12, which is just 20 cents.
Well, it's half
Is
as
here.
big as the 10-pounder.
Yeah, we'll find it. But,
In the
we
back.
have
They're way in the back, the
A 1
tens.
pound,
The tens are way back there.
hiding them. 1 pound. Just trying to confuse you. And these, that's 22 for the 10, 12 for the 5, 8 for the 1. And I also have biochar, which we didn't discuss today, which is a very good additive. It extends the amount of the worm casting. So if worm castings are good for 3 months, this will add up to a year, because they have microscopic holes in the biochar where your microbes can live. And they basically a condo for the good guys.
So you put that on after you?
Yes, or you can put it with it. I make a soil mix with this in it, and it's very good. Now, the Amazonian tribes have been doing it for about 7,000 years in the Amazon. That's why they have such good soil there. And you can, same thing. And we use bamboo, which is important because when you're making biochar, you want something that doesn't have resins in it so it doesn't plug those holes up. But it'll cost you $10 for this guy because there's a lot of labor involved. I got some loofah sponges here, $3 a piece. I just grew them in the backyard. That's another one you cannot go wrong with. And if you want something that's green in the middle of summertime, the loofahs are kind of the way to go. Makes a pretty yellow flower as well.
Are you kidding?
No, man, I'm serious.
We have
They grow right
seeds
the same.
too. We have
They grow-
seeds.
oh, They got seed, we got loofah seeds too. $3 for all the seeds. I don't know everything that's here, but loofah is one of them. And you can't go wrong. If you're just starting out in the garden, I tell anybody who has never gardened before in their life, throw it in the sand, put some water on it, wait about a week, and there you go. But it's got a 30-foot spread. It's got a vine. I know. You were waiting for the punchline. You were waiting for the punchline. There it is.
It'll go up a telephone pole.
But don't be this guy and put it on the telephone pole and have your loofahs 20 feet in the air. But what you can do, you can put it on a fence or something like that, and it will grow down and look very nice. But you gotta, every once in a while, put the vine up, train it to go that way.
Tell them how you make the sponges.
Very simple. Loofah sponge is a gourd, and all gourds, and whether it's all gourds, when you grow gourds of any kind, no matter whether it's the giant gourds, the giant bottle gourds like here, you let it dry, and when you hear the seeds rattle, it's ready. It's an old Amish guys, and the Amish are the ones who do the gourds, let me tell you. And they make the bird houses, they do everything with them. And what you do is when they're brown, you cut them, not before they're brown, because you don't want a lot of moisture in them to ruin the sponge. You peel the skin away, and you got this, and you cut it with a bread knife, boom, 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 and there you go. You're set. We do have some jellies, like I said, you will not find anywhere else because nobody wants to take the time anymore. Melanie and I were talking about over at Moat, she had some sea grapes, right?
Yeah, there were a lot of green ones.
And she was asking me how in the world you harvest them and keep the birds off. And I said, very simple. You find some that are starting to turn red because the sea grapes ripen at different times, and you just run your fingers through it. The ripe ones will fall off, the unripe ones won't. I mean, sure, you get a couple of green ones, but not anything serious. I got cocoa plum, which is good. But yeah, right there, we got that rookery right next door. So.
Yeah, we have yeah.
But the cocoa plum is very good. All of these also have medicinal qualities as well. I have Java plum, which is very medicinal, high in vitamin C, will also protect your immune system as well. See, all these dark colors have antioxidants in it. And what that will do, the natural antioxidants will help fortify you, keep you from getting sick, like when flu season and things like that. So it's not just a bunch of sugar you're eating, you also have some medicinal and beneficial effects from these jellies. And they don't taste half bad either.
So this is something you'd put on toast, is that?
Toast, yeah, I could put it on fish, I can put it on pork, I can put it on chicken. It's a sauce or a jelly. So it's flexible in that way. And lasts forever till you pop the lid.
How much are those?
And those will run you
How much?
Run you $8.
Okay.
But they can sit on the shelf for years until you open the lid, and then it's gotta be refrigerated. Other than that, I do have some. I brought some because our nursery got hit pretty hard in the frost. I got some longevity spinach here for you. I also have some artillery fern. Some people like it, some people don't.
That little artillery fern, I thought that was a weed.
No.
What it does is they like them for terrariums and rock gardens. They really like them because it grows in there and it only gets that tall. So, but it grows like a carpet. It grows like a weed. We have galanga, which is a type of edible ginger, very high quality edible ginger. And I got a couple other things floating
No
around.
plumeria.
Oh, and the plumeria. So feel free to shop and I'll just stay out of the way.
What about the teas?
Oh, the
spray
teas,
tea
yes.
and the bottle tea.
Yes, the worm tea we have for $8 there. And that makes enough for
So
4 gallons.
this one you would put in your own,
Yep,
you have to dilute this one?
yep, 3 rings per gallon, and it makes 4 gallons. This one's ready to go. And
How much is the ready to go?
that'll
Same.
run you 8. And you also can get the concentrate for 8 because of that you have to deal with. The bamboos will depend on what size you want. Like 5, 10, and 15 different holes. 3 holes is 15, 2 holes is 10,
Thank
and
you,
then 1
David.
hole is 5. And if you get more than one, we'll work something out. But what I like about longevity spinach, that's another thing. If you have an oak tree or some shade and you plant it in the ground, it grows like a carpet. And what's nice about it is you always have